I am personally very excited about the upcoming changes on exploration. Also excited about the upcoming buff on the Astero. This little boat will get extra 25% chances on opening relic and data sites. Relic and data sites will get increased loot, and some other blueprints or modules will be added to the sites, which is all exciting stuff. So, let's undock with this little Astro, and I guess let's go and do some sights. Now, I know a lot of players did ask me on how I do this, and I think I already gave a couple good explanations. But still, there is a lot of players who believe that there is a secret trick to finding sites and getting good rewards out of the sites. Now, so far that I understand, the sites are allocated randomly across the map, so kind of everyone has equal chance to stumble upon a site. Now, the rewards are kind of different between high sec, low sec, and null sec. From my personal experience, null sec and low sec rewards are kind of similar. In my case, I did get more good sites from low sec than from null sec, although in recent days that's kind of switching slowly. Although I noticed that you have a lot more sites in low sec than in null sec. Not quite sure if that's because of the differences between the difficulties of the sites, or if it's just the fact that a lot of players are roaming around in null and a lot of players are scanning in null. Now, in my case, the highest ever loot drop that I did get was around 4 to 6 billion in less than 15 minutes. And that happened a couple months ago. Basically, that's how I funded most of my ships, through exploration, and that's why people are so... I guess players are confused how I have so many ships. Well, everything literally came from exploration, and I already said that like 20 times by now, but I know that it gets a little bit difficult to believe that, especially after a lot of players report that they did not find much. So it differs from personal experience to personal experience, but in my case, that's how I made so much ISK, and that's how I basically funded most of my ships that I currently fly. Now, the only thing that I kind of followed with a strict schedule is I usually started scanning when the game is sleeping, when there is least players online. And that kind of depends from time zone to time zone, but each time zone has its own dead time, I guess. So you just have to find the dead time zone of your time zone and then go out and scan. That's basically the only thing that I have been trying to follow in the last couple days, or should I say in the last couple weeks. I haven't been following that schedule. Basically, I did scan wherever I could, wherever I had time, because mostly I am busy with PvP, or well, busy with something else, so did not have enough time to go and scan around. As for the rewards, well, they're kind of the same. Sometimes you stumble upon a 20 million loot box, sometimes you stumble upon a 300 to 800 to even couple billion ISK worth of loot from a single site. And that's what I think is the random nature of exploration. And I guess that's also kind of the exciting part about exploration, because you really never know what you can find. And last time when I did my last exploration part, I didn't find much of the loot. Basically, when I checked out the prices on the market, I did find around 50 million from a couple sites, and the estimated price was 22 million, but when I checked out to sell, I could sell it technically for 50 million. So the estimated prices can vary it a lot. Depends from the loot that you get. Now, in this case here, I kind of was a little bit more lucky, I guess. You'll see what I mean. I think I did find one or two good good sites, and I did get around 240 or 300 million estimated. And when I looked at the market, I could easily sell that for 350 to 400 million. So basically, it really depends on the timing, and of course, the price on the market can also change quickly. So if you, for example, find a good site, and if you get 1 billion, and you take a look at the market and you see that you can sell it for 1.5 billion, then my advice would be to sell it. Although that's kind of a gamble because, again, the market can quickly change and the price can triple in value, or it can even go down in value. So that's also one of the things to keep in mind. But in my case, at the moment, I don't need that much ISK. I'm basically exploring for fun. By the way, this was recorded when the server had the issue with the login, when people couldn't log in the game. I was logged in before it happened, and I basically had the whole game for myself. Well, not exactly for myself, but you had some of my corp mates were also online, and we had some fun. We basically had a lot of systems empty, and we decided to, roam around and explore a little bit. So far, that seemed to be the good decision for that day. A little bit risky because I heard that the server did kick already logged in players, so I did kind of risk to lose my Astero. But was it worth? Yes, it was. It was fun. Now, I think I covered this little topic a couple times, but it seems like still a lot of players believe that there is a secret trick to exploration, and the only trick that I would call a trick, I mean, it's not even a trick, but I explore when no one is playing, or when the game population is low, in the so-called dead time zone hours. And I would say each time zone has its own hours when the vast majority of the players are sleeping or working, and that's practically the best moment to go out and scan. Of course, you will have other players who do the same thing, but the chance to stumble upon players in such a scenario is not that big, and you practically have higher chances to find more boxes and, of course, more sites. And one other aspect that I also noticed, a lot of players report that they don't seem to find a lot of sites. Well, in my case over here, I actually find a lot of sites, but in most cases these sites are generally average in value. So I basically do a lot of scans and I cover a lot of systems. That can take up to a couple hours, sometimes up to 5 hours, depends. But in literally most cases, it did pay off though. It really did pay off. For example, throughout this video you will see me opening some boxes that will give me around, I think it did give me around 250 million or 240 million. We will see that in, I guess, in a couple moments here. But that's practically Omega for a month, and I practically just started scanning, so overall it can be fun, and I still stick to the fact that this has to be the most relaxing thing to do in this game. You have no fighting, you can enjoy the music that you listen to, you can practically, really enjoy the game. It can be frustrating when the box explodes when you don't scan it, or when you fail to decode it, but that will be changed with the upcoming patch, because again we get 25% extra success rate for this little ship here, and of course the other tier 10 exploration frigates do get a 25% bonus on success rate when decoding. So that's a really good thing, and I'm really excited for that. And of course, the extra loot that we will get. Now about the extra loot, I've read on the patch notes, I believe, that they will add more blueprints, that we will get nanocore materials, and that we will get some other stuff. That's pretty good, and I'm really excited for that. Who knows, at one point we might even get ship skins or something like that, nanocores, maybe that, who knows. I mean, would be really funny if I stumble upon a Deathwish nanocore in one of these boxes. So really looking forward for that, because exploration definitely one of my personal favorite things in this game. And speaking about nanocore boxes, well, I got a secret trafficking box, although I don't quite, I don't quite use them that much, but
autopilot engaged.
I might as well open, like when I have 90 of them, and then I just force open all 90. Maybe I get a nanocore.
Warp drive active.
Maybe I get a Deathwish nanocore. Would be funny. Well, okay, warping to the next one. We have one neutral in local. Well, now it's safe. Okay, let me start opening the boxes. Usually when I land, I go after the most expensive box. In this case, it's Serpentis Remains. And also people ask me what's the most profitable space. That's kinda, I don't know really. A good question, because I had more success in one space than in other spaces. But I would say that it feels like it's balanced out, to be honest. Because sometimes I go in angel space, and believe me or not, I actually go in angel space and I make some good rewards out of that. But sometimes I go into Serpentis space or Amar space, or should I say Blood Raider space, and I don't get anything. So it really depends. So you really, I guess, can't base that by the space that you're located at. I practically go everywhere. When I'm scanning, all systems across the map are basically the systems that I like to go to, and I like to scan there. Now, you have to be really careful when you're scanning. I know a lot of players who are hunting Astero ships, and I got 280 million actually from that little box. Not bad. That was actually pretty good. Can sell that for around 350 to 400 million. Or I can build the blueprints, I can build the modules, and I can sell it for $500 million. So it really depends on how you look at the stuff that you have in your cargo. But I'm no industrial pilot, so I don't build blueprint, I don't build modules, I don't build ships. I do the opposite. I blow up ships. There is 3 in local. We have one red, but I think I should be safe. If someone tries to scan me, I can quickly cloak. If someone warps in, I can also cloak. That's why I maintain a 5-kilometer orbit from the boxes, and I also maintain a good distance from most objects, because I don't want to get decloaked by accident. 1 box remains. That one will be opened quickly. Excellent. Now I can align myself and cloak. That was, for example, a good drop. That was a good drop and a good sight. 284 estimate, and practically can sell it for 350 million, and if I build the module I can actually sell that for over $500 million. I'm very happy with this loot, and practically already have Omega for 1 month. So, but let's keep on scanning, cause why not?
Warp drive active.
Okay, I have a friendly in system. That's excellent. That means I don't have to worry much about anyone interrupting me when I'm doing here. Now, as for exploration ships, I personally don't plan to change this Astero. This Astero has been with me for practically since its release, so I'm kinda attached to this little boat. I love it, and I really don't want to stop using it. This little boat helped me obtain enough ease for basically all ships that you see me fly, and of course that also accounts for the modules and rigs and all that stuff. So as crazy as it sounds, but if I didn't buy this ship when it was released, I would most likely be without a Balgorn, be without a Macariel, be without the Hyperion. I'd be without a lot of ships, and I would most likely still be flying a Cinnabel, maybe a Stratius, but I would most likely still be stuck with cruisers for a very long time. Now I know PvP is still one of the main sources of income that I have, but exploration did give me a lot, and I still have a lot of leftover blueprints from my old exploration realms that I still haven't sold. I basically keep them when I need disc, and then I just sell them, and then well I use disc for whatever ship or module I need. That's how the A-type Balgorn was made, by the way. I sold a big chunk of the stuff that I had and practically just bought the modules. Okay, everything seems to be okay so far. At least I hope that everything is okay so far. The other exploration frigates are now going to be a good and viable option. That's something to note, and that's a very important thing actually, because up until this moment the Astero was practically the only ship that was really made for exploration. Now a lot of players use interceptors, and you know what, you can actually keep on using interceptors even after the patch, but you will be missing out on the extra success rate for opening the boxes. So I believe when the update does finally get released, that a lot of players will switch to the exploration frigates, because they're made for that. Of course, I also expect a lot of players to keep on using interceptors. In my case, I will still use the Astero. I don't plan to change this ship. Some players will use the Stratius for this job. Stratius also did get the same success rate, although I would say Stratius does feel kinda safe for this, because Stratius can have very good drone DPS, and most ships that are camping these sites are bombers, interceptors, assault frigates, rarely a cruiser, but sometimes a cruiser, and Stratius is quite tanky. It can be quite tanky. So Stratius is also a very valid and a very good option for exploration, although I think I haven't used the Stratius for this yet. However, Stratius can also fit the combat scanner. And I think I did mention this last time, but with the combat scanner you can actually scan the system, and if you don't have any ping and if there is a sight in system, then there's a chance that the player that's in local is waiting at the site, waiting for other ships to do the site so that they can destroy them. With the Stratius you can easily determine if they are waiting for you over there, or if they're just, you know, running missions, mining or stuff like that. So I see the Stratius being very useful for that, and who knows, I might use the Stratius for this
Autopilot
job.
engaged.
But I feel like the Astero is the better option, because this little thing actually is quick, and speed is one thing that I really need for exploration. Now what do we have here? Well, we have a sight. Ah, okay. It's not the sight that I need, but there were two signals. I remember couple months ago, when I scanned in nullsec, I stumbled upon like 8 data sites. I did all of them, and I got like a billion ISK from all of them combined. I think almost said that I got a billion ISK per site. It wasn't a billion ISK per site. I would definitely remember that. Each site gave me around 100 million, and I was pretty happy with that, to be honest. Around 100, around 100, sometimes 120, 150. I think I actually did record that. I kind of forgot. Maybe I did record it. I don't know, but it happened quite some time ago, and that was very lucky. So you really need to plan ahead of where and when you go scan. I usually aim for the quiet systems. Usually the quiet systems or quiet regions uh, give a lot of sites, because usually if no one scans the sites, then they slowly gather. And there's one region. Now that one region I usually don't mention that much, because other reasons that are not bound to exploration, so I usually don't mention that region. But that region, I visit quite often, used to give me a lot of very good blueprints. I used to find a lot of warp core optimizer blueprints there, and now people would say you keep the region secret because it has good drops. No, that's not the case. I've been there, and I didn't find anything. So that further confirms the randomness of all of these sites. If I did find the same thing that I did find before, then that would confirm that some regions have better chances to spawn the sites, but that's not the case. At least not the case based on what I've seen. So I've been there. I tried to replicate the loot that I did get before, and no, didn't happen. I did find maybe one decent that gave me like 50 to 100 million, but besides that, everything was around 20 to 50 million on average, which is still good, by the way. It's not bad. If you find, let's say, 15 million per day, in 5 days, you practically can have Omega for a month. So, in reality, when you think about it, and if you really put some effort into scanning, it does pay off. However, the one thing that I personally kind of find weird is the randomness of it. That's the only aspect that can hinder a player at doing exploration full time, because there is always a chance that you don't find anything in the next couple days. But also at the same time, there's also the chance that you find a billion ISK per day, or even 10 billion ISK per day. There is always a chance for that. And I think the chances to find good stuff will drastically improve and increase after the patch. So I would say a lot of players will start exploring again. I can definitely see that. And I can also feel that the exploration ships and modules, especially the analyzers, will go up in price quite a bit. So I would advise that you buy the scanners on time before they become 1 billion per scanner. In my case, I think when the scanners go up in price, it's actually going to benefit me, because we shoot down, I think, a couple Astero frigates per week in our home system, and some of them drop these scanners. So in that case, we will profit. whether that's going to happen after the patch or no, we will see. But I can tell you, the scanners will go up in price, especially after the rewards and success rate goes up. I can see that happening. So yeah, that's practically what I have to say about scanning and exploration. It still remains one of my favorite things to do in this game after PvP. still one of the most relaxing things to do, and even new players can benefit from this. Now, I think I will do something along the lines of I will try to scan only high sec, and I will try to find out how much ISK can a new player get from scanning high sec sites. From my personal experience, for a new player, it should be enough ISK to fund new ships, new modules, and things similar to that. And as time goes on, the new player can also slowly go to low sec and in the end to null sec after they get the ship and after they get the correct module. So in reality, it's really not bad as it might sound. For a new player, 20 million ISK is a lot. 20 million ISK can buy a new player a tier 5 cruiser, for example a Stabber or a Rapture, with decent equipment. And I'm saying 20 million per day is still decent for a new player. Sometimes the new player can find 150 million in high sec. I know one of my corp mates did find I think now it's over 350 million in one day from only high sec. So the randomness of it, if a little bit quotation marks on this, if a little bit lucky, then a new player can easily get 300 million in one day. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about exploration. New players might actually start to love this, and new players might start to do a lot more exploration, which is good. I'm always happy when I see new players in the game. However, I would advise new players to check the autopilot and to make sure that they're not going through Syndicate, because I've seen a lot of new players throw their ship through Syndicate, and yikes. I'm just gonna leave it at that, but I've seen a lot of players do that. So always check your autopilot and always be careful where you're warping to, especially in no and low sec. In high sec, you don't have to worry about that. You should be very safe in high sec. So I would say stay in high sec until you have a couple of spare ships, and until you I would say until you learn how to fly your ship and learn how to play the game, and then go slowly towards the more dangerous parts of the game, which is low sec and especially null sec. Low sec can be safe, depends on the map and depends where you are, but null sec, that's never safe. You never know when you will stumble upon a couple of dreadnoughts hugging a gate with a bubble. Trust me, I've seen a lot of dreads hugging gates with bubbles. I've been to some, alright? Well, actually, I've been participating in a lot, so let's just keep it at that. This is a relaxing exploration video, not me talking about dreadnoughts and PvP. That's for another time. Now, I really enjoy the scenery in these sites. They're kinda usually very interesting, and I would expect the developers to add more different objects, add more stuff to do, and at one point I would expect these sites to have ships that you need to shoot down. So that will also be quite excited. In EVE Online, I know we have the explosive sites. Now, one little fun fact, I haven't seen a explosive site in a very long time. I stumbled upon one or two when Exploration was released, but ever since then I haven't encountered a single one explosion site. Basically, these sites, the boxes in these sites explode, doing 5,000 explosive damage. And for these sites, you really have to have good resistance. That's why Sister of Eve ships have good resistance. They are basically built to withstand that hit. However, in this game, I haven't noticed that the explosive sites explode. Now, I will be still very careful when I'm opening the boxes, because you never know when the developers will, implement that. So, if you encounter a explosive site, be careful, because there's a chance that they explode and damage your ship if you fail to decode them. That's something that I want to give a heads up about. Well, that was a very nice little exploration roam today. My apologies if I did repeat some exploration parts from the previous part. I need to really clean my storage. I have so many recordings. I really have to categorize them one by one by date. Something that kind of gets difficult when you have over 1,000 videos on your storage. Well, that would be it for today. Honestly, I really loved exploration in this game. It's relaxing, and that's basically all I need. If it's relaxing, and if I can earn some ISK doing it, then I'm definitely going to be playing it. PvP is there if I want to get that adrenaline hit, and trust me, PvP in this game is something different and definitely something else. Well, next time when I come back, most likely going to be uploading another PvP run, most likely with the Ashram, maybe with the Hyperion, maybe the Balgorn, or maybe I will do something very funny and maybe actually let's not spoil too much. Let's not spoil about the upcoming PvP parts. I have something that might be very funny in the future. Well, with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.